The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. It's Tuesday, so you guys know we got to put on a podcast here. It's Taco Tuesday. Hopefully Tim's watching. DJ, all the folks out there, thank you guys. This is the most real behind-the-scenes information for financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs happening here in Las Vegas. And as always, I'm your host, Dan French. We're going to talk a lot about real estate, financing, and we're going to talk a lot about Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you guys like the channel, if you like the content, please subscribe, right? Like the channel, hit that like button, and also hit the notification bell. And I want to come over here and introduce Mr. Doug Liebig. What's up, Doug?
How are you, Dan? Buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Oh, another day in the Las Vegas paradise.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on with you, buddy? How are you?
Oh, good. Work is slowing down a little bit, but still kind of staying busy. So
yeah, dude, I'll tell you, it's been an interesting week for me. It's been an interesting month, really. A lot of people think that, things were going to slow down. They did, but I didn't think they would slow this much. And I think that's a real alarming situation. So. What do you feel about how slow this market has become here in Las Vegas? We know Las Vegas is very volatile. So
yeah,
right.
We saw it last time around. So I think the amount of buyers that we're seeing right now has kind of dried up a little bit. They're not as willing. They're kind of waiting it out. It seems to me like the buyers are kind of waiting it out a little bit right now.
Do you feel like it's a weird time for people?
Very weird time.
It's just unprecedented times for people.
So here's what I think. I think we've got an election coming up, a midterm election coming up, that could be turn the tide one way or the other. It's just.
But I don't know, man. I don't really feel like an election really makes a difference.
I think it does to a lot of people. Yeah, because
maybe psychologically it does. I just don't know if mentally or just in general it really makes a difference. It doesn't. To me, it's weird because everybody has candidates. Everybody has, but I don't feel like things really change very much. There's just subtle differences.
They don't. But there's a lot of things going on right now that in the economy. I mean, look at your housing prices are going up. Your house prices are going down.
So home values are coming down.
Yeah, home values are coming down.
Right, and then you got interest rates going up.
Going up. You got food prices going up.
Yeah.
Your gas prices are still up there. It doesn't seem like anybody's working to try and bring that stuff down. Fed keeps raising the interest rates. It's kind of like it just makes everything a little bit uncertain, I think. And I think a lot of people are kind of waiting to see what happens because I know, it's like they say, it's like the old adage, people vote with their pocketbooks,
They vote with their pocketbooks. I mean, we could go in and delve into that. I think when you look at people's, and I always try to look at it from the consumer's position in life.
Yep.
It's hard to make choices right now, I think, for a lot. But I mean, it's one of those things, we can go back and forth with the whole housing. Do you need or do you want? Like, do you want a house or do you need a house? Yeah. And you can spin it and look at it different ways. It really just comes down, does it make sense? Now, also in Las Vegas, though, we've seen, do you feel that the economy has slowed down now because it's now kids are back to school? It just seems like October, things kind of start to settle in. People start looking at other directions than buying in housing or just starting, it's like the end of the year, it's starting to get to that family, Halloween's coming, things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's the holiday season, you're coming up on the holiday season. So October kind of starts it all out, your Halloween starts it out, and then you going to Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. And I think people, it's going to be a slower time. In my experience with the real estate industry, it's interesting because some years are really slow between, like, say, November and January, and then other years it's been very busy. Like I had quite a bit of work during the last crash because we had investors coming in, and we had just a bunch of investors once the house prices dropped, and so I was staying real busy. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But that's the way it happens. So I guess it's just, you flip a coin, it heads or tails. Is it going to be slow or going to be, is it going to be a time for different types of buyers, different investors? Is it going to be a time for consumers? It's kind of an interesting time right now.
So we could talk a little bit about, I want to talk about Elon Musk and the impact this is going to have on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And him buying Twitter. You know about this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this global recession and this reset and what impact that's going to have. And prices right now of homes are dropping like it's 2009. And so you see things happening right now in this market where prices of homes dropping 2%. Biggest drop we've had since 2009. Compare that to that market.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. And then we're going to also look at see where if anything's changing in the housing market this week. Not much different numbers going on data wise. So,
right.
But yeah, I think that when you look at Elon Musk, I'm sure you know about this. Dude, I'm a social media person, but you have to be. I think in this market, you have to be, and just being a realtor and being out there as anybody marketing themselves, you have to really put yourself out there. And I always look at Twitter as being, I don't really go on there to do anything other than it just streams live. Does anybody, I don't know anybody that really goes on there and tweets out things. Do you?
And I don't know. I don't know of anybody. I know my daughter, she's on the social media thing. She works for iHeartRadio. So, she's
Okay.
out advertising and that stuff. So she's into the social media stuff. But as far as me, I kind of thought that maybe I was talking to bots when I was tweeting sometimes, because some of these things are just so bizarre and so far out there. I'm kind of old school. The social media came around and I'm like, what do you do with this?
It's just like, here's where I look at it is Musk buys this, and is it more of a power move?
Yeah.
Or is it a move so he can control the narrative of what comes out of there? And because let's be honest, a lot of social media today is policed. You can't say certain things on YouTube. You'll be pulled off.
It's censored, yeah.
It's all censored.
Yeah.
And I think that's my biggest thing is I'm not saying you want to go out and put yourself out there and be one of those people that are the antagonists, right? You don't want to antagonize people, but you still want to speak your mind and not feel like, okay, did I say something right? Did I, go this direction? Because everybody's like, you got to peak and conform. Like, I get it, but to that level where you have to be, follow those rules or you're going to be pulled.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a story. I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
There was a story where this guy was saying that he was saying over his cell phone that he was joking around. I'm going to go bomb this place up.
Well,
And then he had the FBI at his house. Now,
Sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's what. And by the way, you guys, Esmeralda Lucia, the beautiful Esmeralda Lucia is in the house.
you guys.
Everybody, what's going on? Say, Esmeralda, what's
Hi.
going on?
Oh my God, you guys.
Did you run into traffic? What happened?
Yeah.
Did you?
I did. I ran into traffic. I tried to exit from the freeway. And
That traffic's getting worse and worse coming into Henderson, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
and
the
so I was like,
215.
if I exit, I'd probably take longer. So I weathered the freeway. I'm here, you guys.
You know what I've been doing is I've been getting off at Green Valley and just going down Wigwam to get here, and it like cuts the time in half.
I
during
thought
this time
about
of day.
it, but I was like, I can't take that chance. And then, like, what if I'm stuck in lights? I was like, let me just weather it through the freeway.
Only two.
I know. I was like, well, I couldn't exit out. Like, I couldn't get to the.
Oh yeah.
It was too full. So I was like, okay. It was like busy. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I'm here.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to. I want to go back to this social media thing now.
Okay.
Elon Musk is like a big deal. Do you guys like Elon Musk? Do
You
you like him as a person?
I've kind of grown to like him. I didn't really like him too much at first. You know, I thought he was kind of out there, kind of bizarre, you know.
Did you feel like did you like Elon Musk?
I don't know who he is.
You don't know who Elon Musk is?
No.
Are you under a rock right now?
Mr. Tesla.
Yeah, he's Mr. Tesla. He does all the Tesla.
Okay. I wouldn't say he's bizarre, now that we know who we're talking about. I would say that I think he's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that a lot of his ideas and strategies are going to take over. And
yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the plan that he had with Vegas and the undertunnel and...
I worked on that.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yes, I'm a fan. Now that I know that. I thought it was somebody else. Sorry, I confused
I'm
that.
talking about when he first started making his appearance and everything. You know, kind of eccentric. You know, that's kind of the way.
Well, people didn't accept his... Like, people were like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, right. But he brought that to light.
But I think after knowing who he is and what he's done and being in the media like he has been, I think he can bring a lot of good around. I think there's a lot that
I think he's going to be changing some more things.
I think so too.
Yeah, and
so we had this strong dollar come out, and you were talking about when that announcement came out with Elon Musk that the stocks went through the roof, right?
His
Twitter.
stock did.
His stock did, yeah, right?
Yeah, Twitter did.
It went crazy.
Well, I think they were holding back on that for, if the deal fell through, then Twitter would probably fall through too, because it's, I think his whole thing is how many bots you have, what percentage of bots do you have on your social media platform, and they wouldn't tell him. And so then now that, it kept dropping, and I think it was down to, I can't remember what it was, like $34 or something like that. And now it's I think it hit like 51 or something like that today.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
in one day, right?
So you bought?
No, I didn't buy it, but
I didn't either, and I
I
slap myself.
I know, right? Well, it's just the same thing with like FedEx and UPS. They dropped like a rock, and then now they're coming back around again. But it's the whole, I think it's the whole supply chain thing. People weren't ordering, that they had to shut offices down, all that stuff. But with the social media thing, with Twitter, I think what was interesting to me was I looked at the Truth Social, the DWAC stock, and that went up a little bit too today. So I don't know if those two are competing, or if Twitter's going to be it. So
well, the whole thing that happened with Florida with that whole the tornado or the hurricane or whatever you want to call it, the storm.
Yeah,
a lot of people that had those Teslas and stuff were not able to drive their cars. There was no power.
Oh, yeah.
Not even with solar.
Right.
Nothing was working.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting and scary all at the same time.
Do you like the concept of electric vehicles?
I think it saves money and gas. But that scares me though.
Yeah.
With that little comment.
What comment is that? What happened?
Well, that Tesla, people that were driving electric cars, there was no way of them charging it. While I was going through that hurricane in Florida.
So
they were shut down.
They were shut down, right?
Yeah, they were shut down. There was no way.
What about not
even solar worked.
Can't you hook up like a generator to that thing?
Not even solar worked.
But you need gas, Dan.
No, but not even solar worked. So nothing was working. Not even a backup.
Don't you have like a backup battery or something? Like you don't have.
Well, you're supposed to. Well, you can buy, if you own a Tesla, you can actually buy the little charger in your garage and keep it there. Now, I don't know. I don't think that it mattered because there was no way to. If solar didn't even work.
Yeah.
Then that's scary because solar just generates from the sun.
Right.
So I don't know. So anybody that had an electric car, it was not moving nowhere. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
And I know because my brother-in-law sells solar. So
you guys have anything else happening in the news? Because look, I know this, like social media to me is a way of life now for people out there that are trying to market. And I think, for you too, you're out there doing stuff on social media, Twitter, YouTube. Do you guys do you even use
Twitter? I used to.
What is your platform that you use the most? We're going to go into this housing
Instagram
thing.
for me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty popular though. Yeah.
Instagram,
why Instagram?
Because Instagram is really simple. So when you upload anything, it goes to your whole all your followers at the same time. When you upload it into Facebook, it only generates the people that you're actually interacting, that the algorithm matches. So if you're not connecting with those people and actually liking that, putting messages, then their actual pic doesn't even show up on your screen. Right? Yeah, nothing. You wouldn't see anything. So that's why I like.
So why not TikTok? Like, what is it? Because there's too much.
I like TikTok. I don't know.
You know what I noticed about TikTok is there's a lot of booty on TikTok.
Yeah, there is. There's
honestly, this crazy. You turn it on and it's like everybody's dancing trying to get your attention. And I'm like, dude, I got to stay off this thing.
You get in trouble.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's like, I'm like, wait a second, what is this? And then it's just, and then, you're trying to scroll through and it's just like, you go, wait a second, what was that? Oh, the thing was shaking. And then you got to keep going because I think it's
distractions.
It's distractions, right? I had to
Instagram has the same thing.
I had to remove that app from my phone because it takes up a lot of my time. If I was just like,
no, you're not. You're being honest. It's okay.
Hey,
Instagram has the same thing. You just
because here's the thing with TikTok.
Either you follow or you don't. So.
TikTok lets you go to that extreme. It's like, wait a second. You see all the goods and then you're not deleted, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens on TikTok. But it's a younger generation of people that watch TikTok.
I think TikTok is good though.
Yeah, my daughter likes it. She puts things on there all the time.
I must say this, business people are going to be on TikTok in the next 5 years. If you're not on TikTok right now, you're going to be suffering.
I'll say I have a couple of my clients that actually started doing TikTok and they did it in a different language. So they didn't do it in English. They did it in their, different language. And they said that they're killing it.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, I think... as far as I know,
I don't do TikTok, but my nieces and my nieces and nephews do, and it's so funny.
Hey, I got a comment right here. I want to.
I know. I'm sorry, you guys. I wasn't realizing
said,
what that was.
This used to be a Vegas real estate show, or am I smoking out, or am I smoked out here? I think he's smoked out because we've changed. We got a different flag going on right now.
We changed the platform, you guys.
Esmeralda came in and she's just like, we're gonna pull the rug on this one. So
sorry, you guys.
No, we're still real estate, but we talk a lot about what's going on in Vegas. I mean, look, it all affects us. We talk about inflation. Like I know the numbers. Like I was at the gas station, still $5.86 a gallon.
No,
I mean, come on, man. It's like, when is this gonna stop?
Yeah,
right?
that was crazy.
We went to Bryan Head over the weekend, and it was like $4.35 to fill up the truck for diesel. Yeah, it was. It saved about $1 a gallon. It's almost worth it to drive up there and just get a half a tank.
Oh, I do have to say something. So my party on Saturday was a bomb. It was so good. Anyways.
Did you guys have mariachis?
No.
You didn't have mariachis?
We had it was like English music. No mariachi. I tried
English music?
What does that
DJ,
mean? Like,
what is English?
like not mariachi, but.
Did she just say it's English music? Is that even like a genre or like? I mean, it was all English music.
R&B,
are you talking about like England or what are you talking about? So you're saying you were playing
no
hip-hop.
mariachis, no mariachis,
no mariachis.
No, we're having mariachis this weekend, so that'll make up.
Absolutely. Also, cool. Mr. DJ and Tim's on. Tim, what's up, buddy? DJ, he has a comment that says, "What up, Dan? So should I move and pay $4,500 mortgage or stay in San Diego?" And with our $2,800 mortgage, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna stay in San Diego. You got the weather,
the water.
The beach,
oh my God, it's beautiful.
2,800 versus 4,500. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. Like you got the taxes. I think California's living is not good. A lot of problems there, but we won't dive into that part of it.
You got state tax, and we don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's numerous things. That's one part of it. You're right.
Yeah, that's a huge part, though.
Huge part. So I don't know. I mean, DJ, I think I'm staying pat, man, in San Diego.
I don't think
At
I'm leaving.
least you got the beach, man.
The beach, the weather, it's gorgeous. Yeah. I love San Diego. That's like one of my favorite places in Cali.
Yeah, so we got this guy. It's also MB said, I enjoy your content and I watch as a non-Vegas resident, not looking to buy in Vegas, just interesting content outside and to keep it up. Well, I appreciate that, man. That's a very good comment.
Very cool.
And I'm going to say this, I bring the platform, but I think everybody here brings some content of their own and ideas. Yeah. And I think what it comes down to is when you have a podcast, you're trying to give people an idea of, you know what, we all don't have the answers, and we might not like what we're speaking, but you might pick up on different things that people are putting out there, and use it in your own way, right? Like your own thought process.
Yep.
So that's what podcasts are all about, right, Esmeralda?
Yep.
I think my opinion is, I think these podcasts are going to be, they are the future. I don't know that people will actually go to, like when I was growing up, it was always ABC, CBS, NBC News, whatever. And I don't think people are going to be doing that much anymore. I think they're going to go to something that fits them.
Yeah, when I look for stuff, I go to YouTube for everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I don't know how to do something, I'm like YouTube, whatever it is I'm looking for.
Well,
there's always a video, and I'm like, okay.
Here's the creative, awesome part of YouTube is people want to get incentivized. Let's just be honest. That's why a lot of people go on YouTube and try to create channels. Not everybody, but they do that. Now, what does that do? It drives creativity, and it drives people to put out things that they probably never would think about putting out. Right. Putting together like a shed, or I was watching somebody the other day, like power washing some front, yard that had a bunch of grass, and what he did. It's like, who would have thought? And this guy had like hundreds of thousands of people watching.
Power washing their grass.
He goes around and power washes people's houses and then puts it on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
I understand it's a little vague, like it's not really, but at the same time, man, it's like, what can you not find somebody trying to attempt on YouTube today?
Hey, I figured out how to change my seat out in my pickup.
Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like,
cool.
because it has all the gears and everything in there to go up and down. So, I had to change that out.
Anything else in Las Vegas before we dive into the old housing market and the doom and gloom that everybody wants to hear and everybody wants to hold on to and say, damn it, I'm taking advantage of when this crashes. 2009's coming back.
Where's that crystal ball this time around, man?
2009.
I want that crystal ball.
What do you? So what's going on? You got anything else to say, Esmeralda? I know your party was the bomb.
I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. And I have another one on Saturday. I have 2 weddings on Saturday.
You know what's really interesting about this whole thing?
What?
Is that she has all these parties, but yet we're never invited.
You know what? I am, and I thought about it. I was like, what? I need to invite Dan and the crew to one of my parties.
I think she's like, they're not on the cool list. They got to be a little bit cooler. You know what I mean? Like do you listen to hip hop, Dan? If you don't
I
listen
didn't know what you listen to.
You don't even ask.
I don't know if you listen to mariachi or
no. I listen to English. I listen to English music.
I was like, I don't know if you like bachata and merengue and salsa, and I don't know.
Dude, you came in with your
my little redness.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's dive in to what's going on right now, and I'm going to kind of move over here for a second. The Fed housing reset and the risks that's involved. What do you guys think some of the risks are involved with the Fed? The Fed's objective was to get unemployment higher than what it is. They were also wanting to slow the economy or the market down, which they've accomplished that. The housing market's already in a recession, right? Eyeball test says the economy's in a recession, okay? Now you're looking at the Fed, and their objectives are pretty much matching what they want. They want to tame inflation. I don't think they've done that. It's interesting though, is a lot of the data economically. Very interesting because
so that hasn't really came to fruition.
No, that was a big fall off there. But most of the stuff they put out is completely opposite. And Powell's come out and stated that they want to really have this whole reset of the housing market because they didn't want an overly hot housing market. Right now we're at a housing market scene where we've declined 2%. That's the highest it's been since 2009. We have a crazy amount across the country right now that we have 10 months supply.
The highest is what? As interest rates or just housing prices?
No, highest decrease in housing prices in a short window of time. Las Vegas.
But that was their goal though, right?
Well, Las Vegas is in the top 10. It was their goal, but was it their goal to do it in that short of a period? And was it also their goal to have inflation stay where it's at, which was not there?
Yeah.
They also wanted to coincide that with economically, they wanted to have the economy slowly come down and also the housing market slowly come down. They didn't have that happen. They wanted it to kind of tame itself back, but they can't tame inflation.
No.
And I think that's the problem right now. And people are like, well, where are we headed, Dan? Where are we going? Like, what's the big question, right? Where's the big, what's the elephant in the room? 2023 is going to be a very interesting year. They're saying that it's going to be slowing down to 3%.
3%
on an average of increase of home across the country. Now, we got to look at Las Vegas and say, is Las Vegas going to be that same market though? Why is Las Vegas so desirable? Well, we have the A's coming possibly.
Yeah.
We have the Raiders.
Yeah.
We are entertainment. They say the entertainment capital of the world. I don't know. Everybody has a say on that, but it's desirable. It's a place where people want to be.
I agree.
Yes, we're going to decline and we'll have these big roller coasters, but
there was always this when I first came to town in mid 90s. They had a saying when the cranes go up, the housing goes down. When the cranes come down, the housing goes up. So what that means basically is the commercial construction goes up, then the residential construction kind of comes down a little bit. And that was I guess that was the norm for this town for a while, because they were always building casinos. Now what I see is the up north, they're building all those warehouses. Those warehouses are taking in big corporations. I worked on one of them, and it brought a Monix in, even though a Monix didn't last, but it brought a Monix in and a lot of money. Now with the A's, if I've heard that they're like in their second round of talks in Oakland.
But I've heard this news for a while. I'm not saying that we're not closer, but
I just read this in the last couple of days though.
Okay.
That
recent.
Just recently, that they're renegotiating in their second round of talks. It doesn't look like they're going to renew their stadium. They're looking to move here. So the other thing I read too was that's $1 billion worth of construction to build a new stadium. So it's either going to be the Tropicana or there's a place up north too. So when you put that,
Tropicana's too close though.
well, they're going to they're talking about taking the Tropicana down.
I have a question though. So if you're a baseball fan,
yeah,
I like baseball.
and I know baseball. I don't know
baseball.
baseball. I don't watch baseball too much. I don't really watch any sports, but I do know that the fans are decreasing every year, especially going to the games.
Really?
Yeah, that's the news that I've heard.
Okay.
Why would you want to go to a baseball game in Las Vegas? Like, there's so many other things to do. And I'll be honest, man, I go to a baseball game, it's very boring. Like, it's like every inning, I'm sitting there like, dude, how many more innings do we got? I've been to a game, but it's like,
which one?
I mean, especially if it's like a 1-0 or 2-1 game, dude, I'm sitting there like looking at my phone and I'm like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? So I got to leave. I want to leave. But think about it. You come to Vegas, dude, I'm checking out. If this game's like a 1-0 game, I'm checking out halfway into the game. I'm going to gamble. I'm going over to do something that's more exciting.
Are you watching the games live? Like, you actually going to a game? Or are you watching it live like you're going to a sports book watching it live?
Well, I'm saying going to the game at the stadium. Like, if I'm somebody that's going to go to the game at the stadium, you better entice me.
I love that.
There better be like, you do like that.
I love that. I love going to the games. I don't care if the game sucks. I just love it.
Dude, I'm like the fourth inning and I'm sitting there like.
I like tailgating. Like, I love everything.
It's kind of like fishing. I mean, fishing is just a matter of getting out there, and it's not about catching the fish, right? It's about drinking a few beers.
Well, you're talking about the process. You're talking about this is your escape.
Yeah.
See, my escape's different. Like, I would rather go dirt bike riding or go somewhere and like travel or do something. For me, it's just very boring. Like, I'm not saying I dislike baseball. I'm just saying it's just not exciting in person. It's just not in person. Like, look, if I'm in if I'm in Wisconsin or I'm like somewhere like in the Midwest, and no disrespect, but and I got nothing else going on, I have nothing else happening. Okay, I'll go watch a game, But to me, you know what I'm saying? But to me, like, to literally take my time, and I'm like, wait a second, you got T-Mobile, you got this going on.
What about
you got
football?
I'm the same with football.
Oh my God, no! I love football. Like, watching it live.
Well, listen, I'll say this:
even if it's not my
like,
team, I get hyped. I would get my jersey on.
So look, we all know that Vegas right now is going through a transitional period.
Yep.
Okay, we've declined 10%.
A big one, actually.
A big one.
Yeah.
We've declined 10%. We know the dollar out there is getting stronger. This is all psychological on people here buying. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. It's a complete different shift in the mindset of sellers out there. When you're making offers, right? You're out there and you're like talking to agents and you're saying, hey, please take my offer. We're going to offer 20 above. It was a weird situation for me when I was making offers for people on buying a home. Now it's like sellers are tracking you down, like texting you, calling you, hey, what'd you think of the house? What's going on? And I'll tell you right now, every single month, prices of homes, not prices, but total homes on the market continue to increase, and sellers are just in a different world. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. You look at 2023, and I've told this to everybody, right? They're going to raise the Fed's fund rate again. They're going to go through the process of
probably 2 more times.
Probably 3.
3.
Probably 3. And what is that going to do to the housing market here? Yes, it's going to slow down. Is it going to be that 3%, increase for home prices over year? Probably not. It'd probably be a little bit higher here because it's Vegas. And that's where I was going to this, is that you still have people wanting to move here. It all comes down to desirability. Now, year over year, across the nation, it's 12% that we still are ahead of where we're at our all-time high in 2021. So yes, we've declined, right? We were at like in our 20s, whatever. Maybe we declined 10, 15%. Yeah. But I feel like Vegas it's not going to be the same as other markets. And I just feel that because of the activity, you still have people buying. It's definitely not at the same price, at the process of what they were doing before.
Or the momentum.
But I can tell you that rates are definitely having a huge impact on people's psychological position of should I buy or not. DJ knows this, man. He's like, dude, should I stay in San Diego? Stay in San Diego. Because I feel like this market will come back in 2023.
Well, San Diego's a bomb, but
Well, but it's like you can make pros and cons to buying here and moving here. But again, you have that criteria of people that moved into a house that was right before this whole thing changed. Meaning the prices of homes started really drastically coming down. We're 2%, 3% in Las Vegas. We're in the top 5 of percentage of decline in homes as far as the cost and also the total price reductions that we've seen over the last 2 months. We're in the top 5, right? We were a hot market, and we've declined 3% in
we were also
in
the top 5 of the hot market, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In a hot market, now we've declined the same way, 3% in the last 2 months. I don't know. I just think that this market and where people are at, there's no sense of urgency. They're going to continue to buy when they're ready, not because they're forced to. There's more people right now. I'll give you an example. I have a lady that is trying to buy a house, right? And I'm not going to go into detail, but we have a cash buyer in California. And they're giving her exactly what they want because they know, like, okay, well, this is a desirable area in California. And she's renegotiated this cash offer contract because she wants to move out 3 times. And what she's trying to do is sell her house and move here. And you have sellers over there saying, please, let us, buy this house. And it's like they're controlling the whole narrative of what's going on. It's really crazy.
So maybe it's more.
It's just a different world right now.
More that like the people moving in here can't sell what they have where they're at. But then we still have, because we have 11,000 homes on the MLS or something.
Oh, we have more than that. We have 12,000.
12,000.
Right
so
now.
It's not like we have a shortage of availability. And I think when you have so much, because back during the last crash, all we had was really the casino industry.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And now we've got all that stuff going on up north. We've got the football. We've got even down in the Southwest, T-Mobile. And we got now down in the Southwest, we've got all those commercial buildings or the professional buildings going in down in the Southwest. So, there's so much more here now than there was back during the last crash that I think it's going to be desirable. You know what else I noticed?
Also the storage
facilities. Yeah.
I feel like I see one every, I swear, every.
Well, Vegas, though, I'm going to tell you this,
there's
man.
a lot of them. I've seen them.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, there's so many now.
Yeah, there is. And they built a lot of new ones, too.
Do you feel like Vegas has, there's so much competition? Like, you see a storage unit on almost every corner, a gas station on every corner. That's just how Vegas is.
That storage.
It's really crazy how this works.
Storage businesses, they make a ton of money. Think about it. You're paying, depending on 8 by 10 room,
yeah,
$500
Yeah.
Just the wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
And I know because I moved and I had to rent one for my cars. And I was like, how much is this? I almost had a heart attack. But anyhow, they make a lot of money. A lot of money.
So I want to bring this up. So why do you think people out there want the market to crash? And why is this so, like, people, like, you got a lot of, I don't want to call people out, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's like, this is true. I mean, it's the truth. They want clicks. They want people to say what somebody's going to do differently. And I've been hearing this thing for 10 years, probably 15 years, that says, okay, in the next week it's going to happen, right? And we talk a lot about on the show about crashing because I think there's a lot of controversy around it. There's a lot of conflict and a lot of people that look at the pros and cons. But why is everybody so worried and thinking, that there's only been really technically, which 2009, the Lehman Brothers, that was like the first start of a real crash. In the last 70 years, there's been one crash, technical crash. So my thing is, it took a world to put, the banks to go to their knees because of bad credit and bad loans to make that happen. Why do they think that this is going to be something like similar to that? Because I get it, we're slowing down. There's inflation. I'm just worried, trying to figure out why people are so enamored about that.
I think, the crash it definitely is a blessing to people that have financial.
How is it a blessing though? Because somebody's failures is somebody else's reward, right?
And that's what I'm getting to. So I think that people don't understand the domino effect that happens. I don't want the market to crash because I know how many families are going to be impacted. And what I do know is if the housing market tanks, a lot of people depend on their home for equity, for that cushion, and it's a domino effect, right? It starts the housing, then it affects every other industry, and I think that we forget that. And yes, it will benefit investors and people that have money, they can come in and buy cash and all that kind of stuff. But we also have to remember how many families are going to hurt and how many, is going to destroy a lot of people's income, jobs, everything. It's a domino effect all the way across. And it's not just that. It starts with the housing and then it trickles on down.
Yep. Yeah.
So the
housing's the first to go.
Yeah, we've declined every single month. We have less listings coming on the market, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is going to happen." And I think this is why I'm bringing this up is because we're starting to see some signs that double digits, right? Big swings, some things starting to happen in the market where you're starting to see real declines now, primarily because of rates. Right, and there's a cause and effect to everything. The cause is the rates.
Right.
Does that mean it's going to crash? And I think that's the thing is that I always talk about people look at housing differently than I look at it. I don't look at housing as being it's like my vehicle to equity and my rich. Yes, a lot of people put money in, and it's the number one
biggest investment.
Yeah, it's the biggest investment that everybody typically makes. But I don't look at it like that. I look at it as you're running a risk, right? And so I always look at a crash is never a good thing for anybody, right? It's not even like you got investors and people saying that, but it's real crazy. Like there's a lot of YouTube channels that's on there. It's like, oh, it's in a week. It's happening in a week. You got Rich Dad, Poor Dad out there saying the same thing. Like,
I like that.
Dude, it's coming back. It's like every other week it's a crash coming, and it's like, for me, I'm just looking at it going, well, it still hasn't happened.
It's a lot of noise, and I think you have to carry on just like you would normally carry on and do what you do, and then not get so obsessed over whether it's going to crash or whether it's going to boom or whatever. But just because you really don't have any control over it. As consumers, we don't have any control. Over
you know what it is? It's fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
When you look at somebody and they put a thumbnail on there and it's like it's time, it's happening. I don't look at a crash being good for anybody, and I'll say this. We have a reset. It is a reset. This is what the Fed wanted to do, right? We see numbers of 2009 as far as declines. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Why is that a bad thing? Do you think that markets are always going to be 20%, 25%? And it's like, okay, well, now that we're reset, do you know we're still 12% nationally above our all-time high of 2021 prices? Yeah. Still 12%, even though we've declined from roughly 22, 23%, we're still 12% above what we were before in 2021.
It's kind of like the stock market, I guess. You don't lose until you sell. I mean, if you've got a payment that you can afford and you can, You were saying that the unemployment, they were trying to raise the unemployment, but that's their mandate. The Fed's mandate is to keep the unemployment low and their inflation at 2%. So I mean, it's like
that's what they say. Now I've
Yeah.
also heard that they want unemployment to increase, and I'm not
that
sure.
doesn't make any sense though.
Well, and that's again, a lot of the stuff that we're hearing out there doesn't make sense. They said that the growth of the economy was going to be over, I think it was close to 2%, and we're like 0.3 or something.
Yeah.
It's just not ever stable. Nobody really has like a crystal ball or
Right. I was just gonna say that.
I just think it's like this though. How is getting a crash anything good for an economy, right? And why would somebody want to click on that and be like, dude, is it happening? Is it now? Are we going to see it? Is it coming? Am I going to be able to take advantage of somebody else's losses? Like, that's not what. Yeah, it's kind of shitty, right?
Yeah, really shitty, kind of rotten,
right? It's kind of shitty. I mean,
Yeah.
So I get it. Like,
I was there back in 2008. Man. They came after me with both guns.
So let's go back. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the news with the 2009 numbers. Do you guys have anything to say about what you see going on in Las Vegas with people? Because I want to bring this more to a personal level. It's not just data driven. It's more of like, what do you see out there?
So let me
with
tell you
people?
guys. So on Saturday, I went to the Wynn, right? So we had brunch with my family. It was my sister's birthday. And it was full. I mean, it was crazy. The pools were full. The restaurant was full. The casino was full.
Right.
It didn't look like there was no recession going on.
Right.
That's my opinion here. But again, it's in the casino. It's the Wind. And it didn't seem like no one cared.
Yeah.
Like
So
everybody was-
even though he's in a lawsuit right now and they want him to convert to China, he's not gonna. He still went.
I still went.
You didn't give a nothing, right?
I didn't give a rat. No, I sure didn't. And that restaurant was bomb too. It was so good.
Did you spend a big bill in there? Like, what's the highest bill you've ever spent in a casino for food?
I want to say about $600.
Wow.
Yeah.
You spent $600.
Yeah.
Did you were like, when you were walking to get that bill and you were like walking over there, were you like, I got it? And then you looked at it and you go, I don't got it.
I wanted to be like, it was a steakhouse. So it was SDK. And I knew it was going to be, and I knew it was,
Dude,
it was a
for
couple
me to
of us.
pay $600.
It was a handful of us. So I was like, I knew it was going to be a bill like that.
I went to Stone Crab one time. It's like a restaurant in the Caesars, and Steve Wynn was there, and it was amazing because he was going blind at that time. So he was in there, and they do all the cart. So if you guys have never been there, it's like they serve obviously the vegetables and the meat. Well, he couldn't like shell off some things, and so they had like 6 people there shelling all of his food, going crazy like at his table. And it was just amazing, like how much like attention somebody like that gets. That's at a celebrity status like that.
Well, he can't.
It's amazing to
see,
me,
right? I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it was more like 7 people to do like one job. It felt like, you know, and I'm just like, but I mean,
you're
dude,
like, give me some attention.
yeah. So, but you go into these restaurants and it's like high end. The average plate in these restaurants are $50, and yet you still with all this inflation. Was the restaurant busy when you went?
It was full. It was full to capacity, and I had never been there. It was my first time there, so I wasn't sure how the food was or anything like that. But it was really good. Service was great. Ambience was really nice. I'm telling you, the pool was full. I mean, to the max. The restaurant was full to the max. The casino was full to the max. I was like, and it was early. It was brunch. It wasn't like it was in the evening.
Yeah.
It was early. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
wow,
we were just at the Hilton last week and went to Benihana's. There's a group of us, like 15
I love
of us.
Benihana.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's really good, huh?
It's been a minute,
And and that restaurant was pretty full too. So I mean, it's
I
that's a Hilton. That's
Right. So, well, you got a lot of people traveling, but I just don't see the vibe. Like eyeball test says, with all the things that's inflated, we're in a recession. But I don't see people acting like we're in a recession. And I think that's what I'm trying to say is I don't feel that vibe here in Las Vegas. And I also don't feel it. I mean, I remember, man, when we had problems in 2004 and 5, dude, people were like scared, right? They didn't know what to do here, you know, because the market. And just now it's like, we're not saying it's even, but I think it's just a different world. And that's what I'm trying to say. that market and what people think of what's happening right now is completely different. And with all this, doom and gloom and things that are being put out, where's this factual information that they're actually getting this from? Or is it, and I think that's kind of like what people talk about, because everybody wants to know, what should I do in this housing market? The reason I'm bringing this up is I probably get a call or a conversation at least once or twice a day and from everybody about, should I move? Should I stay?
You're a therapist?
Well, it's not. Yeah. I mean,
He's an expert. You're an expert at this.
Well, here's the thing. It helps them make decisions. I'm not somebody that's going to come in and be like, yeah, this is what you need to do. But I give you the pros and cons, right? And I say, look, because now it's more of a decision. Once you start hearing this stuff in the news, what happens with people? They start questioning what they're doing. Yeah. Is it good or is it bad? And that's fine. Why? It's the biggest investment most people make in their lifetime. Yep. Right? So now it's like, okay, if you were going to go through this process, you might think different because you're in the industry. But if you're not in the industry, then what? You're going to go to somebody that says, talk to me why you think this is a good idea to buy a house. Yeah. Talk to me about where you think this market is going. Talk to me about what 2023 is going to look like. Is inflation going to actually come down? These are all legitimate questions that people have. And I'm getting these questions more and more. Did I ever get these questions, back when the market was hot in 2021? And not at all.
No.
Not one time. No. It was more like, how do I get into a house? What do I need to do to get into this house? What is the offer we need to make? Should I offer 20, 30 above? What do I need to do? What, at all costs, what do I need to do?
That's interesting, because as an inspector, I'm going in and I'm talking to these clients buying houses, and that was basically, and my job is not to tell somebody if the house is worth it or not. That's not, the appraiser gives you the value of the house. But I got that question more than you can imagine.
I believe it.
Do you think this is worth it? And I'm like, can you afford it?
Right.
That's not much you can say about that, but now, now it's a little different story, I think.
So you guys, what else do you guys have to say about the housing market? Because I'm going to go into talk about some stats, and we're just going to end the show here. But do you guys have anything else to say about what's going on? Like your position and what you think is happening? I think it's like October.
I think that we're adjusting.
Yeah, people are checked out, man. They're not interested in buying a house. Like people that are maybe in a new home.
I've heard that. I've heard that these people. I've heard people say, I'm just going to wait. We were talking about it before the show, Dan. Is like I've heard people say, I'm going to wait till after the election, and I know that a lot of it stems on
and
politics.
That usually happens. It doesn't matter what the market is. You always have a group of people that were like, hey, I'm going to wait for the election and see.
Yeah.
They always wait to make any like major decisions. But you know what? I've seen more momentum now than I did in the last month.
That's good.
So I don't know why. Maybe they locked before that increase.
Well, I mean, do you have a sister? Or do you have like family, like maybe cousins or somebody that has kids?
I do.
Okay. Now, were they ever in a position where they're trying to buy at this time of year?
Not after school starts, right?
No, I think I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't want to.
Because I think that's part of it, and I think this is I always
think
look
summer's the best, right? Summer.
I don't know if it's the best. It's the best time for them to move, but is it the best time to buy? I don't know if there's a lot of competition, right? I think this time you start to see slowing down, and let's be honest, man. I mean, when you're buying a house or you're looking at rates and you're seeing what's going on, it's just not sexy anymore when you see 7% staring at you. I mean, let's just be honest. Like
you see a couple $100,
$500,000.
But you know
what? I don't know how I'm gonna do that, man.
But you know what I've always heard, and maybe you can rectify that if I'm wrong. But when you go buy a car, they always say wait until the holidays.
End of year.
Yeah, the holidays is always the best time, and I've heard that for houses.
Oh, I did that with Toyota. I picked up. I waited till the end, absolutely end of the year. It was like December 30th. I think I went and bought a little Toyota pickup, and I got about $8,000 knocked off of it.
And right now it's hard to find cars.
It is.
So if you go trade in your car right now, you think you'll be able to get at least a car that you don't have to wait for, or you think you'll have to wait for it?
I think if it matters, I think the car market is going to turn upside down too. I think you're going to see more cars come on the market than you can.
Why is that though? Why do you feel that way?
Well, so used cars, the price of cars are going up. Used cars, I think I think people are not being able to get these new cars, or in this town it's a little different, but I think you're going to see people. I think the value of cars are going to come down, just like houses are going to come down, because they're not selling, and then they're trying to sell their car for whatever $9,000, or used car for $9,000. I think that's going to be the next market. I think you're going to see people start coming down to where you're going to see a lot of cars on the market too. I think that's going to change.
I have my brother-in-law works in the car market, and he said they're not producing enough new cars to sustain the demand on cars right now. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and also they feel that older cars, right, that they have, I want to say like the way they were made or whatever, depending on the car, right?
Yeah.
That is better to get a car used than the new ones that are being assembled or whatever.
Hey, Josh Thomas has given us I think we have over 100. Just keep it coming, Josh. I mean, you're doing an amazing job there pressing that button.
I want to say a shout out to Locale.
Who's Locale?
So Locale is a restaurant that I actually went with one of my friends on Sunday, and it's in Mountain's Edge. It's right by Albertson. And anyway, so we went to eat. I asked for my my bill or whatnot, and I guess I was sitting next to the owner. I didn't know that, and the manager came up and she's like, "Oh, your food's comped." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, they said that you waited too long for your bill, so they comped everything." Anyway,
wow.
So shout out, you guys.
Dude, wow. Tell me how everybody stops because they got a free meal, and then she's like, "Look at me."
No. I just thought that was really nice.
No,
and honestly, they didn't take long. I was like, what? I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, it's on the house.
Somebody was attracted to you. That's what it was. Somebody in there, I think the manager was like, hey, man, we got to get that girl right there.
No.
She's popping her collar over here. Like, yeah, I got this one.
No, I didn't even brush my hair that day. I had a hat. It looked like I was ready to go clean the front yard. It was nothing like that at all.
All right, so let's go over here. Let's see if we can get some of this data that I want to bring up to you guys. And there's not much different. I mean, that's the problem with what we see today. You know, it's like the Groundhog Day. It's like every day, every month, every week, it's the same thing. $450,000 is all you see here. So, I mean, we've seen this now what does this tell you? Well, it tells me that prices have stabilized to a point. You still have buyers. If it was going to continue to go down, even though we've decreased 3%, right? Then we would see this number come down. Now, I think some of this is lagging. We might be down maybe an additional 5,000. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Vegas is still kind of holding strong, where you see a lot of things happening across the country. These prices are coming down significantly. You look at Florida, big correction. San Jose in California, huge corrections, right? 13%, 10%, like that's huge, right? So anyways, we went from 490 roughly down to 450. We've stayed there for at least the last 3 weeks. And then you look at new listings, right? New listings have declined every single month since the rates have gone up. I think people saw rates are going up. I need to list my house. People said, oh no, I'm not going to buy. And every single month it's like, well, why do I list it? I mean, I'm not going to get what I want for it now.
Like you said, the sellers are chasing the buyers down the street saying, why did you buy my house?
Well, I think that also if you sell and then you're looking to buy and then you look at the interest rate, you're like, I don't know if it makes sense to buy to get something less than what I have.
Yeah.
So I think if you bought at a certain time and you feel that way, then maybe that's why you're not making that move.
I mean, you look at that, and then let's look at homes for sale. I mean, that's kind of stabilized. Now, if you look at all the homes, though, we're at 11,500, right? Homes for sale right now on the market. So again, where were we at recently? We were just right over 12,000. So it comes down to, is it the same market? No way. I mean, it's completely different. Is it just falling out of the sky? No. I mean, it's kind of hit that plateau. People are starting to kind of deal with that 7%, probably questioning, should I even be in this market at 7%? But you still have people out there still interested in buying. I'm going to say a lot of it is first-time home buyers. They were not competing against other buyers, and now they have their shot, right? Even though it's 7%, you're not married to the rate. You're not married to that payment. If it comes down, again, it just comes down by case, but the numbers tell what's going on here in this market.
So how much inventory do we have? Is that like a month inventory, 2 month inventory, or like
Well,
what is?
Let's look and see what the month inventory is, and if we can kind of move this around here. Let's see days on the market. I'm going to see this 25 days on the market, and this is within the last 12 months. This is monthly, right? We're going over the last, so we're still 25 days. I'll tell you a story.
That's pretty normal though, right?
Well, it's actually better than normal because 30 days plus is really a healthy market. If you got things still selling in 25 days, it still says to me 25 days has been there for 3 weeks as well.
Yeah.
So there's still activity. It's just not what it was. It's nowhere near what it was, but you're still buying. People are still, I'm not making this up. I mean, it's right here. They're just collecting the data as things go through and this information comes in.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it's the same market. So I'm not out here saying it's the time to buy, or you know what?
No, it's not.
I would have to, it would be hard for me to justify buying in this market. People ask me, is it the best time to buy? No, it's completely not the best time to buy in a market.
Yeah, the interests
you have
are
high rates and you have high prices. But what people do know is that in markets, typically they always come back. And you buy an investment property. Verstar knows. He bought an investment property and this market was probably at its peak, but he's banking on that he's going to get a return on his investment, right?
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh.
What? You looking at all those happy
Yeah.
faces? That's what I said. We need more of those. So Josh Smith out there just needs to get into this. He needs to get more happy faces so we can start seeing month supply. So let's look at this. So look, here's where we're at, right? So if we thought rates were having a huge impact on buyers, which they have, we were at a month for a long time, then why are we seeing this number decline right here? Why is this coming down? Why has it been this way for the last, I don't know. I mean, look, it's declining. That means less months supply. That means less homes on the market. That means we were at over 12,000 homes. We were at 3.3. Now we're at 3.2. Is it a significant difference? No.
Is that a 1 year curve right there, Dan?
That's a 1 year curve.
Okay.
Right. And so that means when rates were going, or when all this happened and everybody started to see this happen, you had 3 months supply. When the rates started to go up right here, where you see 1.3, right? And it all started to go up. Okay, that's when rates hit. Boom, rates start going up.
Yeah.
Boom, they keep going up, right? They just keep going up. But they stabilized. And what I think people have to get an idea is like, okay, well, is it anything that people want to buy in today? I wouldn't. Like, if you wanted to ask me, yeah, I mean, I don't think I would. Now, I'm not going to say I never would do it. I'm just saying if you're asking me, is it the best time to do it? No. And that's my answer to that.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion. Now, do people still buy in these markets because the cost of shelter and they need a place to stay? Yeah. I mean, that's not going to push people out and say, well, I don't need you still got to rent if you're not buying. And that's the only thing is.
And I'm still doing 4 to 5 inspections a week. I mean, it's.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like.
That's decent.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not like, the 12 to 15 that I was doing, but it's still, 5 inspections a week, people are still coming out and buying.
And you're even doing a solid. Like you've told me that even people that have struggled or trying to figure it out, you're like, hey man, I'll just give you a discount, right? I mean, I'm not going to say you do that for everybody, but you're cool with.
Yeah.
I
I do what I can to help people out, and some people want to pay it closed. That costs me to pay it closed, but I'll do it for them if that's going to be easier for them. And it's, it's the agent's client, that I've been working with. So, yeah.
And they brought up a point. Veristar said, look, man, rents are going up too. And they are.
Are rents going up or are they coming down? I heard they're coming down.
So I've heard that rents have stabilized and in some pockets they're going up.
Okay.
Now, overall, they might come down. But what I'm saying is if the price is right, just like you go to a builder, anything's negotiable. From the masses or the median price of things, psychologically, yes, things have slowed. You're still going to have people out there that have some need or interest because they need a home and not just want a home.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's just about rate. I think it's about the long-term game, right? If you're in it to win it, right? And you're like, well, maybe I could refi if the rates come down, or I'm banking on the prices of homes are stabilizing and they'll probably come back up at some point. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Just because I say it's probably not the best time to buy a house, and I wouldn't buy a house, that doesn't mean
You shouldn't buy a house.
you shouldn't buy a house. Because
Right.
you know why? Everybody's different, man.
Yeah, everybody's situation's different.
Everybody's different. And
Yep.
you know what? Maybe paying that extra $200 a month because it's a house you want is completely a different world than me talking to somebody that is a first-time home buyer looking for down payment assistance, putting down the minimum amount, and they're living month to month. Right now, 38% of people, it's an increase. 38% of incomes are going to a mortgage right now, right? That's the highest it's been, or higher than it's ever been. I think a lot of people, though, if you go back to the crash, it was like 50%. Right?
Yeah.
People
Oh, yeah.
have wisened up. They've now become and think like, okay,
Well, you know what's interesting?
I get it.
Is when I was first out of the Marine Corps, I was driving a truck. I worked for a company that we did just the Northwest area, and this guy was trying to get me to buy a house, and he goes, "Always buy as much house as you can afford." And so he goes, and then you get a rental property and you hold on to that. But whenever you buy a house that you want to live in, always buy as much as you can afford. Take it to the limit. And I never was comfortable with that. I tried it and it didn't work out very well. I wasn't comfortable. I was always feeling like I was working for the house payment. But what I did learn is later on in life is I would figure out where I was at financially and what I would be comfortable with paying for a house instead of taking it to like the 30% or the 35 or 40%. And it's actually worked out well for me. I did it during the crash. I went as much as I thought I could afford during the last crash. And I thought it was going to be lucrative, and it ended up not being lucrative.
Right.
So you just look at your own personal finances, look at where you're at, and you say, okay, I can afford $1,500, I can afford $2,000, I can afford $2,500, whatever it is, not what your income statement says.
Exactly.
I want to bring up one other thing too on this chart. So I'm out there in the trenches making offers for people, negotiating these deals, and I remember never having an offer, I mean, obviously up until the last few months, where it wasn't at least list price. And it was stern. It was like,
It was good.
it was like, hey man, if I'm listing my house, I'm getting that money, right? So you come over here and you look at this list right here and you look at this graph, and we saw this. What this is saying is that if you're selling your house or you sold your house, this is back in February of 2021, pretty much whatever you listed your house for, you got that list price. And then even in starting here in May going up to, let's say June, you were getting above list price. That was the average. Then it came back down. But for the longest time, look, since February of 2021 and all the way since March of 2022, you were basically getting, and actually further than that, all the way to June of 2022, we saw 100.7%. That means anything or prices of homes out there were getting above list offers, and that was the average of, if you listed your house, a lot of times you were getting above list offer, right? Look at the bottom drop out here. This happened all the way from February of 2021 all the way to July of 2022. And look at this bottom drop.
Yep.
That means these offers are continuing to decline. So whatever they're listing their house for, what this is saying is huge price reductions, huge incentives, right? Sellers can't give these homes away fast enough.
Right.
Now there's a level though. Like I've made an offer and they were like, let's get it down to I think it was $550. No, I'm not going to do it. We already reduced from $640 down to $620, down to to $590. Hey man, there's a point too though that the seller will say, hey, I'll just put this back on the market and rent. Ver knows you can, rents are out there. People need a place to stay. Vegas is desirable. So within reason, you can get a deal. I'm not going to say you're going to go in and get a home run,
Right.
but within reason, you're going to get a deal. Builders giving everything away. They stop building, right? Incentives are huge. They're going to continue to go up. Buying rates down.
What's the new home? What's the? I guess the rate of new homes coming on the market, like the builders, like you were just saying.
Well, I think they're just trying to get rid of the inventory that they were building.
Okay.
I I think there's still a market for those people, but I feel that if you look at the rate of what they've been building, I would say it's got to be, 80% less.
Okay.
That's what I think of building homes. I'm not saying they're not building, they're still, but as far as the pace goes,
Right.
there's just not a demand. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I think that's a big deal. And you see, it was just at 99, now it's at 98. I think if you continue to see this come down, you're going to see a lot of opportunity out there for people to buy. But what's interesting, we were at over 12,000 homes on the market just last week, and now we're at 11.5 for total homes. What happened to those 500 homes? Right? Somebody's buying those 500 homes.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for 3 weeks,
Yep.
hovering right around that 450
I think
median
that's
price.
people from out of state. I think it's people from different states that need to move. They're relocating and they don't.
That's the
Most of
outlier.
that's most of my clients are out of state.
Yeah, so they don't have they don't have a choice.
Seven-
They're like, I gotta buy, or I have the money to buy. I don't really care what the interest rate is.
Yeah.
And that's why you hit this right on the head. That is the outlier of why Vegas is desirable. You're not going to have Las Vegans have a 3% rate, sell their house and go into a higher price of a home and get a higher rate.
Yeah,
You're getting
double.
people that are selling their house for a premium still okay with that 7% because you're putting a large down probably.
Exactly.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, or just paying cash
Yeah,
because it's
one or the other.
yeah.
I think if you put a large percentage, then it's not that big of a deal.
Doug, you got
Is the
anything?
interest rate lower?
Well, not that it's lower. It's just that your mortgage is lower because the amount of money you put down, you don't owe as much on the
Right.
property, right? So
But the interest rate isn't affected. By
well, the interest
more-
rate will still be 7, right? It would still be the same interest rate. It's just that you put so much money down that your mortgage is still less, even if it's a 7. You're like, okay, I can afford this. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, Doug, I want to talk a little bit, man, with you. Home inspections.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's going on with home inspections.
Well, like I said earlier, we're still working. So I'm happy to say that we're doing probably 4 to 5 a week right now, and we're still out there taking care of our clients.
Yeah, I think some of the challenges are is I don't know if it lags for you. You were still thriving, right? We've all slowed down in this economy here.
Yeah, it's
for
been
real estate. Yeah,
probably like 2 or 3 weeks for me that it started getting slow.
and I think that's another thing too. Is like now you actually have to go back to the old things that used to get you business. Are you doing any of those? Or are you just working on your referrals?
I'm just working on my referrals. I've been doing it for over 20 years. So a lot of these people, it's interesting because these people are the agents are slowing down, so I don't hear from them as much, and they're just coming in periodically. Some of the people that actually, some of the agents that have used me, they're actually buying now. So I don't know, what the situation is or whatever, but
The agents?
yeah, I've had a couple agents actually, and I think they might be buying them for rentals.
I see.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure.
I think we should do is we should, a lot of people out there may need to start Ubering and using that as a tool to get leads. You'd be like driving, hey man, I'm a realtor too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just, what I mean?
No,
By the way, you
that's,
guys know I'm a realtor out here in Las Vegas.
What's interesting is I'm still going to Pahrump. I'm still going to Laughlin, and I'm doing them around here too. So they're still selling in Laughlin. They're still selling in Pahrump.
How far is the Bunny Ranch from Pahrump?
You know what? I don't know.
Just put Doug on the spot.
I don't think it exists. Didn't they sell it?
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, they
Mustang
sold it,
Ranch
right?
or whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
No, I've heard that they sold it.
Esmeralda,
Yeah,
I think
they
you
might
should
have.
take a drive out there and find out and see if it still exists and do a report on it.
I actually did. I did a house.
I will.
I took a,
so what
I took a right. I went down to the ranch and I took a right, and then the house that I did was probably like, I don't know, half a mile from the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, I
It was
think
like,
it was God's way of telling you, like, hey, man, you might need to
keep
stop
going.
off.
Keep
and,
going. No, it's
you
just,
know, take care of a few things. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just maybe
No,
you
yeah.
just want to sightsee. Maybe you want to take some pictures.
yeah.
Esmeralda, you've never been to the Bunny Ranch, huh?
No.
Is that on the bucket list?
No,
It's not on the bucket
not.
list.
It's not, but I'm sure I know a lot of people that have. So,
Yeah.
A lot of stories. So, anyways,
But,
anything else?
Anyway, yeah.
so you
no.
guys have been then.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to say I
haven't.
haven't, gone that direction or thought about it. But then every time I go, I turn around and then
Yeah,
I turn back
whatever.
around. I'm just saying.
He's VIP. They know him when he walks in.
Honey, I'll be back. I'm going out with the boys for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then, you know how it goes.
Yeah, we're just going to the Dancing Bear.
No, so anyways, what were you doing out there?
No,
Pahrump, huh?
I was just saying that, we've still got houses going in Pahrump. We've still got them going in Laughlin and going here, So people coming, I think people, the two that I did just recently, they moved in from Elko. And I think they're getting more work here than they're probably getting in Elko right now. And that's probably why they're moving here. But Laughlin's more of a, I guess it'd be more like vacation.
I've never been to Laughlin.
It's pretty cool, kind of quiet, and like the river.
But
Yeah.
I've never actually.
They actually shut the Colorado Bell down. Believe that? That's been
Really?
there forever. Yeah.
You been?
No.
Yeah.
So you guys, you have anything else to say about home inspections this week? Anything else? Nothing.
No, give me a call if you have any questions. Anything, even regarding your own home. If you have any questions, give me a call. 702-806-5280. If I can help you out, I will.
Awesome. Hey, Esmeralda, thank you for coming on.
Welcome.
As always, appreciate it. You got that nice shirt on today. Brought a lot of good content and energy to the show. I appreciate you.
It was a good day for me today. Yay!
Yeah. Also, Doug, thanks for coming on, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you coming on. You guys know this is the most real behind the scenes. Call Doug if you need a home inspector. Esmeralda is always on the show. We're going to have other guests coming on. Like I said, it's starting to slow down a little bit in our industry. It's been slowing down because of rates. We know that. But we still try to put out that real information and try to give you our best perspective and information on our experience that we deal with. So you guys know, subscribe to the channel. This is the most real behind the scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs happening here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, and I will see you guys at the next one. I'll see you later.
Toodles.
Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out
So
all the
what were all those
information
orange things
on real
there?
estate and financing
It was
here in
something.
Las Vegas.
I just had a laugh. dude. That
Also,
was-
check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there. A lot of good information, and you can find us on audio-only options.